Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently 1:34 a.m. on this freezing cold 32 degree Tuesday evening going into Wednesday morning. I was just sitting here at the gas station trying to upload this cameo because I was doing a couple cameos, trying to get caught up to get them to everybody for Christmas. And my cameos have been doing something weird lately where I've had just a couple, like I think there's been like 2 and then the one tonight that like wouldn't upload. So like I record them on my phone and then they like upload right then. And they like process and then they upload. And forever, I never had any problems with it. And then just recently, I had like it was taking like a really long time to upload them. So anyway, I did get these done, but I have a couple that I think expired, maybe because of that, I don't know. So if you requested a cameo from me and it expired, feel free to reorder it and I will make sure that I get it done. Also, if you are still wanting, or if you want your husband, wife, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, dog, nudge, nudge, as they're sitting there listening to this, if you still want a cameo from me for Christmas or New Year's or birthday or whatever, or a pep talk, I get a lot of requests for pep talks on there. You still have time, and I will make sure or do my best to get them up in time for Christmas. I mean, if I get one at like midnight on Christmas Eve, it's not going to happen. But, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, part of the day on Friday, I can still get it done. They don't take me that long to do. I love doing them, honestly. It's interesting because I talk to, like, other YouTubers will ask me, they'll say, like, you do cameos, right? And I'm like, yeah, I love doing cameos. And so if you don't know what it is, Cameo is this app that you can sign up for. And they reached out to me. And I honestly didn't sign up for it for a long time because I didn't think that anybody would order any from me. And then I got like 2 or 3 people, it wasn't a lot, that were like, I wish you did cameos, whatever. So a cameo is like, you can get it for a lot of people get them for themselves, or you can get it for somebody else, and you can ask for like an, you know, anniversary message, or I get a lot of birthday messages, or a Christmas message, or whatever, for like as a gift, where I get on there and I talk to that person. And I think most people do like 1 or 2 minute cameos. Mine are probably anywhere from like 3 to 6 minutes. I've done some that are really, really long. I did one recently that was like 10 minutes long. I think it was like actually over that. I think it was like 12 minutes long. I don't usually do 12-minute long. That's like a video on YouTube. They're usually around 3 to 5 minutes, somewhere in there. And then people tell me like the little like facts about them or whatever. And but like when people have asked me, like other YouTubers, they're like, well, I signed up for it and like nobody has asked me to do a cameo. You know what's so strange about it is, I don't know what this is about, because it's not like consistent. Like it's not like I sell tons of merch or anything like that, so it's not like consistent with that. But year round, I get a pretty regular flow of cameos. Like it never really dies down. I always kind of, I mean, usually around the holidays, like Christmas is like a big one, graduation time. Summer, I get a lot of like wedding ones. I've even had people like, okay, so I got to do a bachelorette party for somebody. That was really fun. And then I actually got to be part of somebody's proposal on a Cameo, which was really cool. This guy reached out to me and he was like, my wife loves you, my girlfriend loves you. She watches you like every single day on all your channels. And he was like, I want to surprise her, so can you do a cameo? And it was like for her birthday, I think. And he was like, I'm gonna show it at like this thing, but like, can you ask her to marry me? This was like a year ago. Can you ask her to marry me like in the cameo, and then I'm gonna get down on my knee and propose to her? And so it was really cool, you guys. I got to do this this proposal for this couple. And I've had other wedding ones that people have asked me to do, like the day of their wedding, things like that, just like wedding advice. This, okay, around the holidays, this always happens, and it is like, I get real emotional. I just did one tonight. Oh, I probably shouldn't say, because I don't know who's gonna, I don't want to say who's gonna get it, but there are always like some real emotional ones in there for me, because they kind of hit close to home about things, you know? So I don't want to give too much away in case somebody's gonna surprise somebody with it, but I love doing them. They're so fun, and it's like a really personal way, and people always like reach out to me and they're like, thank you so much, like I got my cameo today from my husband, or the one that I ordered for myself, or so many people order them for themselves, and they're just like, you know, I just wanted to get a message from you, or, you know, I wanted to cheer myself up, or I wanted to, you know, a little pep talk or some advice or whatever. So they're fun. So you can still order one. I think they're listed underneath here. If not, you can go on the Cameo app, or just look up Cameo online, and I think it pulls up my name. You don't have to do it through the app. So I remember like a couple years ago, James Charles came out and said that it was like this scam because they like take a certain percentage of, like they take so much, like I don't even, I just was actually reading something because I was trying to figure out this like glitch that was going on with my video uploading, and so it was talking about like how much you make or something like that, and I think they take something like 25% or whatever. But I think that's honestly like really fair. I mean, I wouldn't be doing it if they didn't have the whole thing set up, and they're setting it up. And I know that seems like a lot, but like, you want to talk about fair? Let's talk about the world of selling books, okay? When you want to talk about fair, I mean, a lot of people are like, I think there's like this whole kind of misconception when it comes to the world of book sales and why so many people are choosing to self-publish these days. So, you know, you can get on, I mean, I've actually thought about this, like if I was going to continue to write another book. If I did cozy mysteries, I would definitely probably do this, except for that there's a lot of like back-end stuff that I just don't want to deal with. But, you know, I think it's every author's dream to be traditionally published and be in like Barnes and Noble and all this kind of stuff, right? Okay. That's like kind of like an author's dream. Like if you write, like it's your dream to like walk into a bookstore and actually see your book in a bookstore, right? Like I can remember actually seeing my book at Half Price Books one day, and I had like mixed emotions. I was like, oh my God, my book is at Half Price Books. And then my next thought was, who gave up my book at Half Price Books? But it was cool anyway. But it is a cool thing, you know, to see your book. Like, you know, I can remember, because like my book at the time that somebody just the other day bought it, they like put it, I think, in the Vloggerinos group or something like that. You guys, the only way that you can get my book now is probably on some like, I'm sure it's on some sale sites like Thrift Books or something like that. But like on Amazon, when people look it up and they're like, it's like $900 or $100, it's because it's out of print. I'm not making any money off that. I don't know who is selling those books, but don't buy those books. The reason why, like a couple years ago, somebody actually in the Vloggerinos asked if they could read my book on their BookTube channel. I don't really know how I feel about that, honestly. Like, I don't really have any, like, strong feelings about it, like, one way or the other. I mean, if you want to read it, it's not like I'm going to sue you or anything for it. I mean, honestly, I'm not. You know, I mean, it is copywritten material that, you know, is mine, but, like, I mean, if you want to read my book, and I would be honored and flattered. It's whatever, you know. But the reason why a couple years ago I read it, so when it was on Audible, because that was like a really big deal to me, was that you guys know I love Audible, so that I wanted my book on Audible. And so I worked with a publisher, we hired an actor, and I remember his name and everything, and like we had to like do all these auditions. It was really fun, and then picked the right person to read the book. And so what was I gonna say? So anyway, it was on Audible. You could buy it anywhere. You could buy it on Barnes & Noble's like website. You could go there you couldn't go to the store and buy it, but like you could buy it on the website and then order it. You could buy it from Amazon. You could buy it everywhere. I was with a boutique publishing company, which just means that they were like really, really small. They only repped like 5 authors at the time, and they're no longer in business. So now I own my book. I just like own it outright. Like if I want to take it to another literary agent, and a literary agent that I had been actually working with for a while, like what we had talked about was that if I were to like sell the next book, or like a 3-book deal or something, that what would happen was that book would be part of that. So they would like, because it needs to be edited. Like that was the one thing. It's just like there's grammatical errors in it still, which it's frustrating to me, but it needs to be edited. And so I would probably re-edit, like they would of course edit it and then like republish it, if that makes sense. But a couple years ago, because so many people would ask me, where can I get your book? Where can I get your book? Where can I get your book? I read it on my BookTube channel, and it's over there, and it's actually on a playlist called the Before, Now, and After Then, because it's the name of the book. And so you can go over there and you can listen to me. I think I read like 2 chapters a video or something like that, and you can go over there and you can listen to it. But I don't know who asked in the Vlogarinos group if I would mind. They said something about would people come and listen to it if they read it on their chapter. Whoever's watching this, I just want you to know you can go put it over there and you can like timestamp this video. I give full authorization for you to read my book and critique it and whatever. It is what it is. I'm a believer, you know, that you do your best on something. It was my first book. I'm very proud that I wrote a book. It's not the best thing that I've ever written, not even, you know, at all. But I'm very proud that I wrote it. I'm proud of myself for having finished a book. Like, that was like a huge goal for me. And I'm proud that I got it published. Is it the best piece of writing I've ever done? No. You know, it is. The one thing for me is that there's like a lot of like grammar issues in it and stuff like that. So I think there's something like 28 errors that are still in the book, which was like hugely frustrating to me when it went to final print. But yeah, I'm proud of the book. I like the story. The one critique it gets a lot is that it's instant love, which I'm a big believer in instant love anyway. So that's like one of the things that it gets critiqued about, because Danny and Rusty fall in love pretty quickly in the book. You know, if you don't know anything about it, what it's about is about this guy. His name is Danny, and he's a senior in high school. And he's changing high schools, and it starts with their birthday. He was an identical twin, and he had an identical twin named Sam, and it's the day of their birthday. And they also decided that that was going to be the day that Danny came out to their parents. This is all in like the first 2 pages. But when Danny is walking up the stairs to tell his parents that he's gay, he overhears his parents arguing about his dad having an affair. And with, I think, the personal trainer, I can't even remember my own book, Jenny is her name. I know because when my dad read the book, he was like, I never had a personal trainer named Jenny, and I never had an affair on your mom. I go, I know, Dad, it's fiction. Which is so funny, because there's a part in it about, like, my grandma in the book. Not my grandma, but, like, the character's grandma. Actually, people ask me who I'm more like in the book. Am I more like Danny, or am I more like Rusty? And I'm actually probably more like Rusty in real life. But Rusty is Venezuelan, so people automatically assume that he is Alex. You know, I think characters in books, when you're a writer, are kind of like, you're in a lot of, I'm in so much of, like, all of the different characters. Cher is Danny's best friend. There's definitely parts of me and Cher. Cher is hands down one of my closest friends in high school, though. I mean, it is based 100% off of her. Danny's mother is actually, physically looks a lot like my mom, but is a lot like me as well. His dad really isn't anything like me, except for the emotionality part. And talking about Sam, he has an Uncle Alex that's a writer. I would say his Uncle Alex is a lot like me. So, in the book, right as his parents, like, are in this argument, and they're coming out of the bedroom, and he's about to tell them, which he does. He says, I'm gay, and they just kind of look at him, and then the doorbell rings, and the mom goes crazy, and is like, I can't handle this. She answers the door, and it's a police officer standing there, and that's how they find out that Sam and their dog have been killed in a car accident, were hit by a drunk driver. So Danny is, like, loses his identical twin brother, and then the book starts. And the book is about Danny going to this new school, and he doesn't know anybody there, and he's always, because he and his mom moved from the house they used to live in. The whole thing takes place in Indianapolis, too. And, so he doesn't know anybody, and he's very shy. He's always lived in the shadow of his brother and his brother's girlfriend and all of his friends. Like, Sam was very popular and things like that. And, and like, very athletic, and, played sports and all that kind of stuff. And Danny was, like, the exact opposite. So Danny actually, on his first day of school, meets this bully, Pat, who is actually based after a bully that I had. Not my main bully, but a bully. And then he meets Cher, who's in his classroom. And she's kind of like this rough and tough girl that doesn't take crap from anybody. And then he also meets Rusty when he's waiting for his mom to pick him up. And I think maybe actually his dad picks him up. I can't remember. But Rusty is this guy with, like, real funky, cool hair. And he offers him a piece of blackjack gum. Which, that is actually a story that happened to me when I was in high school. There was this guy that I became very obsessed with. This kind of, like, skater guy that moved to our school. And he was there for, I think he was, like, just there for, like, 4 or 6 months. And one day we were standing out in front. I was waiting for my mom. He was waiting for his mom. And we were kind of, like, leaning up against this brick wall. It was just the two of us. And he looked at me and he said, cool hair. And I said, thanks. And I didn't say, oh, thanks. I said, thanks. And I was really nervous because I had a crush on him and I thought he was so cute. He was real quiet. And then he took out blackjack gum and asked me if I wanted any of it. And I was like, yeah. And I can remember I held onto that piece of gum, like, forever. The wrapper for that gum. And then my friend, I wouldn't say I liked him to my friend. I used to say I wondered about him. Like, I wondered what his room looked like. And I wondered, like, what he did when he was, you know, like, not at school and stuff like that. And I can see him in my head right now, which is so crazy. As I'm telling this story, I can, like, see him. And he wore these jeans that were, like, not super tight, but they were, like, rolled on the bottoms, like, real tight. And then he wore, like, button-down collared shirts, but we kind of dressed similar, but he had, like, real spiky kind of hair. And he was a skater. And, I mean, I'm sure in retrospect he was probably gay, too. And we just didn't know how to talk to each other because we would kind of, like, pass glares in the hall and stuff like that. But I remember my friend, she was always like, well, I'm going to find out more about him, blah, blah, blah. His real name was Rusty, too. So if there's a Rusty out there that you ever went to Carmel High School. I'm talking about you. I would die. I would die if somebody knew who he was and was like, and maybe he's not gay. Hell, I don't know. Maybe he never was. But I would die if somebody reached out to me and was like, I'm that Rusty that you talked about in your book. Because his name really was Rusty, and which I thought was such kind of a unique name anyway, and so cute. And so my friend was like, well, I'm going to find out about him. He had moved here, something I think because his dad had some kind of like job that they had to move here for. I don't know how I know that, but I feel like it has something to do with that kind of thing. And by the time that my friend had found out, this is one of my best friends. I was best friends with twins in high school, which is ironic, right? And one of the twins was my best friend my junior year, and then the other one was the best friend my senior year. So this would have been my junior year because I can remember which twin it was. And she was like, I'm gonna find out about him, because she was friends with like that skater group. And by the time that she found out some stuff about him, he had already moved. I had such a crush on him, man. Like, I thought about him all the time. I think, like, it's funny, like, I think back on how my mind worked, you know? And, you know, I think that people sometimes, like, they don't really understand, like, what it means to be gay. And I'm only speaking as a gay man, talking about being gay. Because that's only my experience. But, like, it's really rather innocent. I mean, it's not, you know... I don't remember, I mean, I'm sure as I got older, I had more, you know, stronger feelings about other, you know, people and whatever, but when I was that age, I can remember just being like, I would just see him and have butterflies in my stomach. I just was so excited to see him, you know, and, I remember he had this really cool, like, denim jacket, and I don't know why, and this is kind of actually a sad commentary on the world that we lived in at the time, but I can remember thinking to myself, like, you know, I had, like, friends, and it was, like, a big thing when I was in high school, like, if you dated somebody, you wore their jacket. I can remember thinking, like, that would be cool to wear his jacket, but, like, in what world would that ever happen, you know? Anyway, I don't know whatever happened to him. That's so strange. By the way, I just have to share, okay, I'm just going to say this on here because I haven't responded to this person's email because I get so many emails and I've been meaning to respond. But there is somebody that I went to high school with, okay? And I graduated in 90. He graduated in 87. So he graduated the same year that my cousin did, my cousin Caroline, but she went to North Central. She didn't go to Carmel. And so he and I actually were raised in the same church. He and his wife don't live here anymore. But he has emailed me and sent me some stuff through the years. And it's strange because we both went to Our Redeemer Lutheran and we both went to Carmel High School and whatever. So I don't know why I had never connected this before unless he had never said his last name. But he emailed me and he said that he was talking to somebody. I think it was like his mom, I think. Because he sent me some pictures and he was like, maybe it was a letter. Was it a letter or was it an email? I'm almost positive it was an email. But you know who you are, okay? And he said, you know who I am. You know who you are. You graduated from my same high school. We went to the same church. I know he's sitting there right now like, what? This is me? But he said that he had talked to somebody and they knew my mom from the church, and he said my mom's name, and he said all this stuff about my mom. And I was like, it was the weirdest thing, because all of a sudden, because he said something about like they knew who my mom was. My mother was so killing. For like, I would call her up and I'd be like, hey mom, how are you doing? Okay, so my mom was really involved in this church that I grew up in. And she did this thing called Kids Cafe. And so the church that I went to was like downtown in like not a great neighborhood. And so Kids Cafe was for like all of the kids in the neighborhood, even if they didn't go to the church, and they could come there for free, like days, like after school programming and things like that. And my mom was one of the teachers that helped out with that. And so they would do like free tutoring, and they would do like games and all kinds of stuff with the kids. It was really cool. So anyway, my mom did Kids Cafe for a long time. She also taught Sunday school. She was also a deacon of the church. I mean, my mom was really, really involved in the church that I went to. And then later in her life, she went to 2 different churches. She went to, shoot, I can't remember the other churches. They're both Lutheran churches. Because my mom was Episcopalian, and then she converted. If you've ever heard me talk about religion on my drama channel, and you can see I get like very heated about it, it's because that's something that my mom took very, very seriously. And she was Episcopalian, and then she converted. She went to catechism classes. She completely converted to being Lutheran, and she took it very, very seriously. And later in life, my mom, like, she really loved a lot about like Eastern religions, but she struggled with it because she loved the idea that a lot of the concepts of Eastern religions and Christianity were similar, but she would say that she was such a believer in, you know, like she had such a strong faith in Christ and stuff like that. And then there was even a part of her life where she had thought about maybe like converting to Catholicism because she loved the purity of the religion, but there were just things, one of which at that time was me being gay, that the Catholic Church frowned upon, and that she just was not okay with that. She was like, I can't be part of a religion that hates my son, you know? And that was, you know, back in the day. They've somewhat changed their perspective today. But anyway, so my mom was real involved in this church. So my mom would call me up, and she would say, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I was talking to this person, and I was talking to that person, and she would just like throw out all these names. And like, there were pretty consistent names through the years of people that like, I was just thinking about this the other day. So somebody tagged me in something, and it was this girl that was like my age. Oh my God, he'll know who I'm talking about if I say this on here. This was the weirdest thing. Okay, so it was a girl that I went to, or it was a girl that I went, like, grew up with in this church. Like, we went, like, because I was, you know, confirmed in the church. So we went through confirmation classes together. Did I say catechism classes earlier? I meant confirmation classes earlier with my mom. But anyway, so she and I went to confirmation classes together. And I remember that her mom, okay, her mom was friends with another one of my mom's friends. Like, her mom went to our church, and then her mom was friends with another one of my mom's friends. My mom was friends with like 3 or 4 divorced women, and they all like hung out and did stuff together. And she was like kind of part of that group, but like she had, this girl's dad, who was this woman's ex, had remarried another woman. There was like this weird storyline in there. Anyway, one night, I was like, what was that girl's name? Somehow, like, something came up with that girl's name. Like, I thought of what her name was, and it just, like, came to me like that. And I looked her up on Facebook, and I could not believe it. She is a pastor of a church. And, like, really cool and earthy today. And I was like, and I, like, got so teary-eyed. I was like, those are the moments that I would love to call my mom and be like, did you know that I just thought of her name. I was like, and I think it was, I almost said his name. I think it was him that triggered me saying this because, or thinking about her, because, my mom would do that. She would call me and she'd be like, oh, this person and that person and whatever. As soon as he said his last name, and this, which I had already known it, but I don't know why it didn't occur to me before, but I just putting together the church and all of this together, I was like, oh my God, my mom used to talk about his parents all the time in this church. Like, she would say his last name. Like, I can remember that. Isn't that so bizarre? And now he, like, watches my vlogs, and he lives in another part of the country. It's so weird. It's such a small world. So anyway, how did I get to that? I've been all over the place talking tonight, haven't I? I don't even know how I got to that, talking about that, but what was I talking about earlier? Cameos. I don't even know how I got on talking about my mom. something about looking up emails or something. It is so cold outside tonight. Tanya didn't wear a coat and she was so freezing. Okay, she looked so cute tonight. So Tanya had on a red corduroy shirt with like a t-shirt underneath it, but she had it like all buttoned up. And then she had on jeans, and then she had on like these red plaid boots. It stopped right as I was telling my Tanya story. And then she had on these like red plaid boots that were like folded over. And then she had this hat on, and it was like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like, you know that Sherpa material? Kind of like my coat. I don't know if you can see my coat, but kind of like my coat, you know? Well, but like almost like fuzzier, like Fozzie Bear kind of. That's exactly what it was like Fozzie Bear from the Muppets, the hat. But then it had, on the bill, it had a red nose. Like on the bill, it was like a baseball hat. But then on the bill of the hat, it was like a red nose. And then it had plaid, like reindeer ears coming out of it. She looked so cute tonight. So went and got my coin tonight from my sponsor. She just said some incredible things. I love her so much. And we had a really good time. Really great meeting tonight. And then I continue to get this question, and so I don't know. It's real intriguing to people. I don't know why. So I'm gonna answer the question, and then I'm gonna explain to you why I don't talk about it on here, and I think it'll make sense to you guys. And then I'm gonna stop talking about it. Okay. So one of the questions that I get on a regular basis is, you know, like people will say, do you sponsor people, or why don't people just assume that I don't sponsor people, or they'll say, why don't you sponsor people, or are you a sponsor to somebody? I mean, I get asked that question pretty regularly, and the answer is yes, I do sponsor and have. I mean, that's a part of service and recovery. And the reason why, there are 3 deer crossing the road right now. Oh my God, they are so sweet. Oh, they're so gentle. They're just like walking into the woods. Oh, I love that. Hey, guys. The reason that I don't talk about it on here is that you guys know that I am killing for like telling a story and being like, well, when I was in high school with Judy Smith, and then Judy Smith and blah, 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 whatever, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this, right? The reason I don't talk about who I sponsor or meeting with them or whatever is I don't ever want to fall into, I mean, if I talk about what I'm working on with my sponsor, that's my sobriety, that's my stuff, right? I can talk about that. But I don't ever want to talk about, I mean, it's no kitchen secret to say you sponsor somebody. I mean, I don't know anybody in sobriety that has been sober for any period of time, let's say over a year, because that's what's recommended. That, and some people disagree with that and think other things, but I'm just saying, what I was always taught was that it was a year or more sobriety time, a working knowledge of the 12 steps, and that you were sponsorable yourself. And I also was taught that men sponsor men and women sponsor women, unless a gay man can have a woman sponsor and a lesbian can have a male sponsor and things like that. That's in the pamphlets. So, but it's one thing for me to talk about my sobriety and share my stories and talk about working with my sponsor and all that kind of stuff. I have also talked to my sponsor about what I can share and not share on YouTube videos. I mean, these are lengthy conversations I've had, you guys. One of the reasons why I try my best to never talk about specifically the program that I'm in is that I don't want to, I don't want to say this in judging other people, because I see a lot of influencers get in videos and say, well, last week when I was at my such and such meeting, to some degree that's breaching traditions. And so I am not a representative of the 12-step program that I go to, okay? This is important for me to say, my experience is only my experience, strength, and hope. I am just one person in a 12-step program. I am by no means the gatekeeper, the example, the overall example. I'm just one person, and that is just my experience, one person's experience working a 12-step program. And mine's not right, and mine's not wrong, and mine's not better, and mine's not worse. It just is mine. And so it's really important in sharing your story, and anybody out there that's involved in a 12-step program is probably nodding their head right now. It's really important that because it is kind of irritating sometimes to see other people when they claim, like, this is what we do. Like, they'll say, like, well, in meetings, this is what, well, maybe my home group meeting is different than somebody else's home group meeting. You can just share your experience, strength, and hope, right? And so, I've talked to my sponsor. My sponsor's been willing to, she's like, I'll be in videos, movies. My sponsor me in a movie. She's like, I'd love to be in a video with you and stuff like that. I'm protective of her, which is one of the reasons why I don't. I posted a few pictures of her. People haven't really clued into the fact that that's my sponsor when I post pictures of her, which is kind of funny. But I have from time to time posted stuff of her, and I will continue to do that. And I don't really care. It's not like it's any kind of like big secret kitchen. I keep on saying kitchen secret. It's not like it's any big kind of secret, right? Like, she has no problem at all. Like, she would totally put it on blast and be like, this, I mean, I'm comfortable with that, and so is she. She lives sobriety 24 hours a day. Everybody in her life knows that she's sober. Everybody in the world knows she's sober, just like everybody in my life knows I'm sober. But it's not my place. I mean, if she chose to get into a video and tell her story, that's her business. It's not my place to talk about my sponsees and people that I have worked with and done inventory with, and it's not my place to talk about my sponsees, and I don't want to slip up and say something like, I mean, just anything. I don't even want to give examples of it, so that's why I steer away from that. But sometimes in videos when I'll say things like I had a service commitment today and things like that, that's sometimes what I'm referring to, and not always, but sometimes. And I try to just stay kind of ambiguous about a lot of it, because I think that, and the other reason is this, I want to make this clear, that, like, I am only part of one 12-step program today, but when I got sober, I was part of 3 12-step programs. I was part of the 3 that were, back then, which was AA, NA, and CA. And I want, if anybody takes anything from my experience, I want my experience to be ambiguous enough so that if they're in a different program, I mean, I don't think it takes a brain scientist to figure out what program I'm in, right? Actually, when people contact me and they, like, email me and stuff, I said something tonight that I said one small thing that anybody that knows anything would know, they would know what I was talking about. But what I don't want is, because I'm not a believer that one program is better than the other. I think you got to find what works for you and let that be. And I have friends of mine that have been sober just as long in other programs and have just as magically amazing lives and work, unbelievable programs of recovery and have had their lives turned around as well. I don't, people, you'll email me and they'll say, like, oh, I also go to, and they just say it like they assume they know, which I think probably people do kind of know what meetings I go to, even though if I've slipped up and said it, I've only ever said it like a couple times in videos, but I may have, I don't know. I know Tanya got in a video that I did with Tanya, I think it was a vlog, and she just straight up said it. And I said, Tanya, I don't say that in meetings. She's like, well, it's my anonymity. I can say it if I want to. So anyway, but that's the other thing, is that, like, I don't want, if somebody's in a different 12-step program, I don't want them to not hear maybe what I'm sharing because they go, oh, well, I don't relate to that because I'm in a different program. You know what I mean? Like, I want my story to be not about a specific 12-step program. I want my story that I share to be more about the story of just recovery, and that other people can have it, and how it fits into my life today. So I don't know if that makes sense. Now, I will say this: the 12-step program that I'm in, effing in love with it. Like, that's one of the only times I cuss anymore, you know, it's like I am. I'm so extremely passionate and in love with it because it saved my life. And that's my experience. It's not to say that another program couldn't have saved my life, and probably would have at that time had I consistently started, you know, my sponsor at that time was just like, you're going to 3 different programs, you need to pick one program and stick with it. And that's what I did, you know. So, but yeah, I do. And have. Oh, anyway, that's what I was going to say. Tanya got in the car, and that's what she had on. And then, you know, we were going to dinner afterwards. So it was everybody that's in our literature group. So there's 5 of us, and then my sponsor. And Tanya gets in the car with all these presents, all these bags and stuff, right? Which I think mine are still in the back. And I'm like, I go, Tanya, what are all these presents for? And she's like, it's everybody's Christmas presents. And I said, I did not know that we were exchanging presents tonight. And I mean, I had planned to get everybody something, but like, not tonight was not my plan, right? And so, and in all honesty, like the girls in my literature group, I mean, like we've never exchanged presents before. I was gonna get something small, you know, like, and everybody like got, so, okay, so we go, and it's like, so Tanya and 2 of my friends like got everybody presents, and then my sponsor and this other girl and I are sitting there, and we like didn't get anybody presents, and really nice presents too, you guys. And so like, but we had so much fun, and we went to Applebee's, which is kind of becoming our place when we go out to dinner after me. It's real close, and they're open till well, I think they're open till midnight. We sat in the bar tonight because like they had like these big tabletops, high top tables. But we left at like 11 o'clock. We got there at like 9:30. We stayed till like 11 o'clock. I had a grilled cheese with fries, and we had cheese curds. I'll tell you everything that everybody had at the table. My friend across from me, she got all sides, or all, because it was the like appetizers like were half price. All these like certain appetizers. So she got chicken tacos, they were little, like these little chicken tacos, mini chicken tacos. And then she got chips and salsa, and then she got boneless chicken wings. I feel like she got something else. No, boneless chicken wings. And then I had a root beer and a water, and she had a water. And then, I know you guys are like, what? But somebody one time was like, I love to hear what everybody has at dinner. So now I feel like I have to share what everybody had at dinner. So then, I had a root beer and a water, and then I had a root beer and a water, You know what? My sponsor didn't get coffee tonight. She usually always gets coffee. That's so funny. And then I got cheese curds to start, which comes with like this like Chipotle, I don't know, dipping sauce. It was really good. Chipotle something, and then like ranch. They're just like fried cheese curds. They're just delicious is what they are. And then I got them the last time, and everybody went crazy. And then I got a grilled cheese sandwich with fries, which was just okay. I kind of wish I had done the appetizers like my friend. And then my sponsor got like a fried chicken salad or something like that. It looked really good. And then she just got a water. And then my other friend got spinach artichoke dip. And I think that's it. And she had some cheese curds and some chips and salsa and stuff. And then Tanya, she got the quesadilla burger, which I don't know what that is, and fries. And she had some of the chips and salsa and a few cheese curds. It was so funny because she passed her plate down, and I heard her, and she's like, "Can I have a few cheese curds?" And then my friend started putting like the mini chicken taco on it, and she goes, I just want cheese curds." I don't know why that's funny. But anyway, and then my other friend, she got some kind of bacon cheeseburger or something like that with fries. And we had fun, and we were loud and rowdy and opening presents, and it was really, really fun. I'll show you what I got in a second, because my presents are in the back. I meant to take them. Did I take them out? No, they're back there. I can't believe that Christmas is in a couple days. I'm like, can't even hardly believe it. Wednesday, Thursday, and then it's Christmas Eve. Last night, well, was it last night? I watched Dragula. Did I already say this on here? Oh my God. Well, I don't want to say who won because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. Needless to say, it was a really good finale. That's all I'll say. And then I watched, I did watch Fat Albert's Christmas, and I also watched Smurf's Christmas, which I'd forgotten how much I loved back in the day. And then, what did I start watching at home? All these shows that I'm talking about, you guys, you can watch on YouTube. They're all on YouTube. Rudolph's on YouTube. Frosty the Snowman's on YouTube. Smoky Mountain Christmas. There's that red pickup truck. That red pickup truck. You guys here, I'm going to show you, look. Look, this is the red pickup truck. Is here every single night. Look at that. There it is right there. Rudolph, Frosty, all of them. Any Christmas show you want to see, except for Charlie Brown's Christmas. But that was on TV this week. So I watched it the other night. Okay, hold on just a second. Okay. Oh, these are my flowers that my sponsor got me. Aren't they so pretty? She said they were to go with all of my Christmas stuff. My Christmas themed stuff. Aren't those so pretty? I walked out of the meeting like this because she brought them into the meeting, and I said, oh, they had this thing. Hold on a second. So I walked out of the meeting and I had them in my hand like this, and I said, I feel like a beauty pageant winner. Oh my God. Okay. So those were my flowers, which was so sweet of her. My coin is at home because I took it home to show Alex. Okay. Then okay. So then Tani got me Swedish fish because I can have those because they're vegan. I'm not vegan. Oh, no. Yes. And then Tanya got me an ornament for my tree, which she does every year. And this one is, oh, you can't see it. If I put it up here, can you see it? It's Michael Myers. She said there, make Melissa jealous, is what she said. And then she got me a really nice card. And then she got me this book, this Oprah book, which you guys, this is so fantastic. It's called Oprah, The Life You Want Planner. Make living well a daily practice. And she said that these have been back ordered forever. And so it's got all these like quotes and sayings, and then it's like, I don't know if you can, how much you can see it, but when you go through here, it's like, it has all the months in here, and you can go through, it's like a planner, right? But then when you go in here, it's like integrity, and it goes here and it talks all about integrity, and then it has these like writing prompts, like, who is someone I admire for living their life with integrity? And then you answer it. And then it goes through here, and it has like intentions, and what your intentions are for each day of the week, weekly reflection, you go back there and go through here, and then it has little quotes all over here to find yourself, think for yourself, vulnerability, connection. It has like each week is like a different like practice that you're like practicing, but then it's also like scheduling stuff out. So this is going to be like my spiritual guide for 2022, and I'm really excited about this. I love this. So that was really sweet of Tanya Jean. I'm like afraid I'm going to break this ornament. Okay, so then my other friend she got me this mug, which I was like, girl. She got me this mug, and it says on here, if you don't have anything nice to say, come sit by me. And then she got me this beautiful scarf, because she knows how much I love scarves. You guys, look at this. She got Tanya and I each one. It's not like, you know what? It's not even on camera doing it any justice. It is so pretty. It is like, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like really beautiful. Do you see this? And it's huge. Look at this. Isn't that so pretty? My husband's gonna want this scarf because he loves scarves. And she got Tanya and I each one of these. Okay. And then the last thing that she got me, which I wanted to show you this, was really cool. She got me a bunch of chocolate too, because, oh, she's always bringing me chocolate. Okay, so she got me this chapstick, and she got it for Tanya too, and it's called Kind Lips. And mine is like cocoa butter, I think, is what. She said she didn't know who she gave which one to, but anyway. Proceeds of this, you can look it up online. It's called Kind Lips. Proceeds from each sale of this go to anti-bullying campaigns. Isn't that so cool that she got that for me? And then my other friend, she gave us all, like, she makes jewelry and she does photography and stuff like that. So she gave us each a piece of her artwork. And look at this, after I just had talked about going downtown and seeing the Christmas tree, she made this for me, okay? You can either like, look, it's like an easel that you can either like set it up or you can hang it, and it's Monument Circle the Christmas Tree. Do you see that from like underneath it? Is that not so cool? Everybody was so nice this year. Her wrapping paper says poinsettias on it. Oh, and it's gold on the other side, gold poinsettias. But we had a good time. I have not, like, in a long time had a group of people like that where, like, we go and exchange presents and, you know, have, like, I mean, yeah, with, like, Melissa and Jason and stuff, we, like, go out to dinner, but we don't ever really exchange presents with them. Maybe for birthdays or something every once in a while. But, I'm gonna actually get out of the car and put this in the back seat because I want to arrange it nicely back there. Oh, it's so cold, you guys. Okay, give me just 1 second. Okay, I've got like all these hats back here. I've got 4 hats back here. And 2 masks, pink masks on the floor. I should have taken my flowers in when I was home. And I totally forgot. Good thing that it's still cold outside. I'm gonna see my hats that I have back here. Okay, well, this is this hat that my friend gave me. Alex said it makes me look like an old man. He said, don't wear that hat. And then I'm trying to break this hat in, but it's not happening. I have this Yankees hat. What do we think? Let me model for you. And then I have my Silver Fox hat. And I have this Boston Red Sox hat that I got. Is it Red Sox? I don't even know. I think it's Red Sox. So I have all these hats in my car. Oh, man. So that was my night tonight. And it was so funny because we were driving home. And Tanya goes, well, first of all, she was complaining about how freezing cold it was outside, which it is. Oh, by the way, I made coffee before I came out, and this is spiced gingerbread, and this is that Crazy Cups stuff. And so Tanya goes, it is so cold outside. It's so freezing cold. And I go, well, that would have been a reason to wear your coat, because it has been like windy tonight. The weird thing though is, it's not so windy right now, but the weird thing is, it does feel really, really cold. I mean, maybe it's like the wind chill factor, but how... Do you have a wind chill factor when there's no wind? So it's 28 degrees, but it feels like it's probably 20. I mean, seriously, it feels like it's 15 to 20 degrees colder than it was 2 days ago. Let's see this. Maybe my car is off or something. No, it says 29 degrees. Feels like 19. Look, Friday. Christmas Eve, 52 degrees. Oh my God, Christmas Day, Saturday, 59 degrees, you guys. You kidding me? Get out of here with this weather. And then it drops the first week of January. It's highs of 34, 30, 43, New Year's Eve, 43, first, 41, then 34, 34, 32. Well, I guess we're definitely not having snow for Christmas this year. Does it say snow tonight? No. No snow. I think we're going to go through the whole winter and not have any kind of like real snow. That's what I think. I don't know why my gut tells me that, but it just does. I can tell, like, I'm looking at the battery and I'm almost at an hour. I'm at like 55 minutes or something like that right now. And because I was at 30 minutes and then now we're at, well, I think 56 minutes. And the battery is still fully charged. I can tell you now, I can tell when I pick up the battery which one is the brand new one. Because the other ones are kind of worn a little bit and I know which one is. So I got to remember that going forward. So anyway, we were on the way home and Tanya was like, turn on the seat heater. So I turned on the seat heater and I turned up the heat to 80 and had it so warm in here so she could be so warm and toasty and enjoying everything, you know? And so, like halfway home, she goes, it's so warm in here. It feels so nice. It's so nice in here. She was like all cozy and about falling asleep. She just like leaning up against the door and she goes, I think you had a pretty nice birthday. I go, oh, you do? And she started laughing. She goes, I guess I'll decide for you then. I go, okay, Tanya, you decide for me if I had a nice birthday. I did, though. I had a really nice birthday. It was super nice. And then I came home and Alex was asking me all these questions about, you know, our dinner. I mean, he didn't really care about the dinner and all that kind of stuff, but he was like, how did your dinner go? And let me see your coin and all this kind of stuff. And he was like, he just said some really nice things. So love my husband. He was in bed with the dogs. And then I went up there and I was like talking to him and he was finishing an episode of Schitt's Creek. It was like the Christmas episode because it was like this song and dance that he did with his mom, with Moira Rose. And it was over. And then I went downstairs to finish these cameos up and make a cup of coffee to come and vlog. And because I had to do them from my car. So because he was getting ready to go to bed. And when I came back in, I said something to him and he didn't respond. And I said, are you asleep already up there? And he didn't respond. I was like, oh my God, he is falling asleep already. So let me tell you my plan, folks. My plan is that I am going to finish my audiobook, Slashing Through the Night, or whatever, slaying through the snow, or whatever it's called, tonight. I'm gonna get off here and I'm gonna finish that. Alex's cousin Maya flies in at 6 a.m. Alex works tomorrow. He's gonna work a half day. It's his last day before Christmas, so he's so excited. And then he's gonna do some shopping and stuff. And I'm gonna do some videos. And then tomorrow night we're gonna go over and spend some time with Alex's mom and his cousin Maya, who's visiting. Yeah, and that's that. But tonight I am going to go now and finish my audiobook. I have an hour, I have right over an hour. I think I have like 72 minutes. So I have like an hour and 12 minutes and I am finishing the book tonight. And then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna go to bed. So with that being said, if nobody else has told, If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Wednesday. And I love you guys so much. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!